Hello, this is Ashish, and today we are going to read the chapter 3. The chapter name is The Power of Words. We have already covered some two chapters in previous video. You can go there and you can check those videos to know more about those two chapters in detail. So today we are going to discuss about the power of words. So before moving further, I want to share with you something about the words and about the pictures that we see in our daily life and that we read in our daily life. So pictures, that is something like you can present yourself in a pictures. If you know about what actually the human anatomy and perspective drawings and whatever, these those things will help you to convey something that is in your imagination. So whatever is in your imagination, you can use your imagination power, and then after learning a lot of things about the drawings and the sketches, you can represent your skill in a picture. So, and also one thing that we are going to learn about the words. So words is also a kind of art that you can express yourselves without saying something by your mouth. You can write something, and you can design your words, your language in a very beautiful way. So something that we will add in our comic books. And uh, so also when we will start to write the comic books, and if you want to you want to write your imagination in a words so beautifully. So you have to be you have to ability you have to be able for that. And that's why you have to learn about all the about the words and the pictures. So in the first chapters, if you remember, we have covered the first chapter, that was story with the pictures. So comic is kind of when you connect the story with the pictures, and that is beautifully. And I want to also I'm trying to enhance my ability towards the pictures and with the words, and I want to connect both things, and I want to present myself in a better way. So that's why I started this book, and now I'm in the chapter 3, The Power of Words, and I'm very excited to know about what exactly the meaning of words, and how can I present myself in a very a very beautiful way, or in a right direction, or how can I convey my imagination to the peoples or to the audience. So also uh, perhaps it will help you to know about the power of word, and maybe the pictures. So okay, so before so without any further delay, let's get started. Now I'm going to read this book. Also you can read with me to understand this books, because it is in very detail. So yeah, let's get started. The power of words is an undeniable part of the appeal of this art from we call comics. So definitely when we will start the comics, we have to be aware about the words. How can we use our words in a very great way, or we have to make a good dialogue, or we have to make a better dialogue to convey our to make our comics, or to make okay. So that's why if you know about the pictures, and if you know about the how to draw the characters, and how to draw the perspective drawings, and how to draw the home and environment, everything about the pictures. But there is something missing. If you don't know, then how will you make your comic? So if you don't know about the story, if you don't know about the how to give the dialogue to the peoples, how they will dialogue with each other. So if they don't know, then how you will make your comics with only yeah. Also if if you don't have much idea about the pictures, sorry, with the words, then you can make your own picture book only. But also one thing, if you will add the words in a better way, in a good way, so that will make your comic in a great way. And that is what every comic artist, they know about the words, and as well as they know the pictures. I mean to say that they know very well pictures, and they know very well drawings, as well as they know about the story. So that's why we have to learn the words also. So that is why when we are trying to learn about the comics, we have to learn also the, also the story. So that is why it is very important. And also, if you have some imagination, if you have some, in your, if you in your mind something, there is some story, and if you want to make the story in a better way and you want to convey the story, so that's why you need to understand what, how can you, how can you convey the story. So that is very important. So strong is the role of words in the vast majority of great comic strips, comic books, and graphic novels during the last 100 years, that some comics scholars such as R.C. Harvey have suggested that the artful combination of words and pictures should be included in any comprehensive definition of comics. So I want to share you something, like if you start a comic book, and what the benefit of this. So first of all, you can make your own comic books, and that will also, enhance your skill in the drawings and, the comic strip, and it will make your enhance your skill, it will enhance your skill towards your storytelling, and drawing. Both will goes together up. Okay, so that will enhance your skill. And also, there is one thing, like if you because I know, I consider in myself, like if you want to convey the story to the children, if you want to teach the children how exactly all these things are around us, how it is made up of some beautiful shapes, and how it is made up of some, how you can draw using some simple shapes. So there are lots of things that you can convey the child to the pictures, through the pictures, and that is very important, that is very difficult to convey it, using your words only to convey the students. You are not showing the pictures to the students, that's, and you are directly giving them words, and you want to make them convey the story just only by using your words, and that is very difficult for the child. If you want to make them, comfortable, and if you want to make them, easy, what you can do, you can convince the pictures with the story, and they will grasp very fastly, because they grasp the picture very easily. Even if you are older person, then you will remember the things that is in picture. Otherwise it's very difficult to remember those things, like for examples, I'm saying you some words. Apple. Okay, close your eyes and think about whatever I'm going to say you. You think. Okay. Apple, cycle, ring, broom, tuk tuk tuk. So something that I said in between all these things, like when I said apple, that is something is going in your mind, and there is a picture, there is a illustration in your mind already, because everywhere you see or you understand about the apple, and some shapes are connected in your mind. So whatever we are seeing in around us, that is, there is some words, and and they are connected with the pictures. Actually, I want to say, I should say, like everywhere is a picture, and around you, around us, everywhere is a picture. So every picture have a name, right? So every picture has a name. We are calling by their name, and their picture is in our mind. That's why, it's a very easy to remember all these things. Otherwise, in the last, what I said, you remember, I said drunchum drunchum. So there is no such like a word exist in this world. So that's why, it's very difficult to remember the words that I said earlier. Yeah, you can mug this sentence, and then you can continuously mugging, and you are mugging, and that's why you remember all these things. But what you can do also, one thing, let's say if you see something first time, you can name it, right? You can name it, and then you can nominate that, and then you can, you can remember the thing that you saw. So that is something I learned very in a great way, and I'm glad for this. Like whatever you want to remember, just what you can do, you can pick the things, and then you can keep in your mind, you can connect the picture with that. So when I will even let's say I want to share you with you something like if I'm telling you about the atom, what do you think? Scientists have you ever seen this? No, you haven't seen yet. But what is the picture, what is the illustration is in my mind when I'm saying about the atom? So whatever you read in your in your NCRT or whatever the books that you read in that, okay, so you have illustration or a example or pictures in your mind. So to use that pictures you can you remember the things. So that is why, so whatever you want to learn, sorry, whatever you want to mug, what you can do in the starting, you can connect with the pictures, the word, you can connect with the word with the pictures. That is what you can do. And there are something there are some words that you like I want to say you when I'm saying justice, what do you think? uh, is there any word exist? uh, okay, what I'm to say, what I'm trying to saying you, justice, when I'm saying justice, what is the pictures in is coming in your mind? No picture. I think the picture is coming in your mind when you are when you are talking with someone very calmly and or very beautifully, and you are talking with your loved ones, that time you have in your mind some kind of illustration, right? So there are few words that is there are no pictures, exact picture, there are no exact picture, like honest, happy. When I'm saying happy, then what kind of pictures is coming in your mind? Only when I'm happy, so that kind of pictures is coming in your mind only, or there are lots of people there that they are happy when, so that type of pictures is coming in your mind, right? So that is why so first of all, what I'm trying to saying you, to two things that you have to keep in mind. So something there are some few words that is they have their own picture, and also there is another thing which they have not exactly the pictures, like honest or loved, and there are lots of words that is they have not pictures, and there are something that they have pictures. So first of all, what are we going to learn about it in this book, or what I will try to convey you what exactly we are going to learn about the pictures. So there is lots of words that they have, they are connected with the pictures directly. So first of all, we learn all those words that is connected with the pictures directly, and then after we will learn about the how we can present the word, those type of words that is not directly connected with the pictures, like honest, happy, sad, beautiful. So we will learn about those things after after finishing all these things. Okay, so I'm taking up much time, so sorry for that. Now I'm moving further. Think it's possible to create wordless comics, and in these books I am proceeding from a definition based instead on the idea of comics as pictures in sequence. So that is what I told you. So you can make wordless picture also, you can make your own comics by only using your expressions, as we have read in chapter 2 about the facial expression, body language, using your using your hand, you can express something by yourself. So what you can see, there is something like, without using your words, using only your facial expressions, body language and hand gestures and body gestures, you can express. There are lots of things that you can express. Also, if you know about the sign language, who they don't they are not able to talk, so they use the sign language also. So those type of things that you can make, without using language, you can make those things. Without using words, you can make those things. And even you can make in a very beautiful way without using words. Okay, with or without words. So I wouldn't necessarily go that far. But clearly, any examination of the art of making comics should place the role of words front and center. Words evoke feelings, sensations, and abstract concept, which pictures alone can only begin to capture. They are comics. Only traditional link with the warmth and nuance of the human voice. They offer creators the opportunity to compress and expand time. And when word and pictures work in independently, they can create new ideas and sensations beyond the sum of their parts. Words have also played a role in the graphic evolution of modern comics, and through their offering a unique graphic devices. Many of them now closely associated with the comics and appropriate in other media on a regular basis. Some approaches the professions hoping to write for the others to draw, and for them words are the very substance of their craft. But whether you plan to write for others or write and draw everything yourself, it's a strong visual imagination and seamlessly integration of words and pictures which comics under belt. Cartoonists have evolved an artful, sophisticated dance between words and pictures, which emphasizes each one's strength, but also strives whenever possible to find the perfect. So also one thing that I want to tell you, like if you learn about all these things about the pictures, that will make your visual thinking, that will enhance your visual thinking, so that will help you a lot. Okay, now moving further. Balance between the two. So balance between the two, that means the words and the pictures. So that is very important when you have a good story, but you don't have idea actually how to, how to exact to draw the characters with the story, and how the expression will have the character. So there are many things. How will be the background, how will be the color, how will be the, the dark side or shadow. There are lots of things that you have to, you have to practice, and you have to keep in mind how to draw, how to exactly draw the drawing, and how to exactly connect with the words, with the, with the characters. So there are lots of things. In most great comics, that balance is a dynamic one. Sometimes word take the lead, sometimes picture do. So yeah, definitely. So it is, you can see in the comic book also, when you see a comic, there sometimes sometimes words take the lead. Like you know very well the story about the story, but sometimes the pictures do, and sometimes you know very well the pictures. That's why it is happening, but both works together to pro propel the story forward. Yeah. Comic is a medium of fragments, a piece of text here, a cropped picture there. But when it works, your readers will combine those fragments as they read and experience your story as a continuous whole. And as noted in a chapter 1, it's that sense of continuous experience that can help make reading feel like a living. In this chapter, we will examine 7 ways words and pictures can combine to achieve that seamless and balance. So pictures and words that we want to, and that is what we want to learn about. The pictures and the, the story, how we will balance two things. It is very important. That's why I was saying you, sometimes you have a great story, but you don't have much idea about the pictures, about the drawings. How can I connect with the pictures, with the words? So there are lots of things that we're gonna learn in this book, and so that's why I'm grateful for this book. I'm thankful for this book, so thank you so much. Plus the art of using words balloons to give a voice to your characters. Yeah, it is a very important part also, when you will use the when you will make the comic, there in every panel you will need a, in almost every panel you will need a bubble. In that you're gonna write the caption, capturing the essence of sounds with sound effects, and some notes on combining words and pictures through the joint efforts of writer artist items. So okay, sorry. think I jumped to the 3-4 pages next. Sorry. So we're gonna learn about 7 things that how we can, how we can balance the words and with the pictures. In understanding comics, I identified a few distinct categories of word and picture combination. It might help to think of these 7 categories diagrammatically. Word specific. Here it is a given example. Miranda gave me the key and smiled. Word specific. Words providing all you need to know, while the pictures illustrate aspects of the scene being described. Okay, what he's saying, let me read again. Words providing all you need to know, while the pictures illustrates aspects of the scene being described. Yeah, so word specific, that is, that is providing you. So let's say if you draw something and you want to convey the, so first of all, what is need, what is the main need? You need a word or you need a picture? So I think both are compulsory when you're making a comic books, and that time both the things that is compulsory. As we know also, sometimes the words leads, and sometimes the pictures do. The word is specific. So sometimes you have a great word and you have a strip, that time the picture illustrated aspect of the scene being described. So whatever you are describing in the pictures, whatever is your word, the illustration of that strip, that is describing your scene, what actually is happening in your scene. Okay, so word specific. Picture specific. Picture providing all you need to know, while the words accentuate aspects of the scene being shown, as you can see here. Duo specific. Words and pictures both sending roughly the same message. So duo specific, like the when I also told you that sometimes the words sometimes words lead, but sometimes picture do. But this time you can see, as you can see, words and pictures both are doing leading equally. That's why W and P equal. And intersecting, it is kind of math, like a math. Intersecting, words and pictures working together in some aspects while also contributing information independently. So what is written here, let me check. Yeah, like my new threads, babe. So as you can see, why he's saying the word and pictures are both are intersecting with each other. So in this case, as you can see here, the pictures, in this picture the man is looking like when he is happy, and also at the same time something is described here. So both are working together. That's why they are saying words and pictures working together in some respects while also contributing information independently. I'm so happy for you. Interdependent, words and pictures combining to convey an idea that neither would convey alone. So this is the time when you need both the things, words and picture. So this time, as you can see here, if I will, let's say if I will remove these pictures and I will describe I'm so happy for you. So that time you can't imagine the actual things what is happening in the pictures, what you can't imagine your imagination. So I will tell you I'm so happy for you. That time you can think about like I'm happy, that means there will be some pictures and they will have a imagination, he or she will have imagination. So that's why if you will add the pictures, you can you can see how she is very happy, not only happy, that's why she is crying. So that's why both are interdependent. You can't, remove one thing, and that will not make properly sense. And now, as you can see here, that is making properly sense, a proper sense. That's why. Parallel words and pictures following seemingly different paths without intersecting. So as you can see, don't forget the dog food. In this condition, you can't, without seeing the word and without seeing the pictures, it's very difficult to know about what exactly happening in this scene. So that's why in this condition both are parallel. Montage words and pictures combined picturally. Montage word and pictures and combining. Stop, no entry. So as you can see here, this is what montage. Okay, now what is written here, let me check. See, understanding comics, page 153 to 155. Note that I have changed the name of one category. Addictive is now intersecting. Okay, no problem. Diagrams. So here is how each of these 7 can help you advance your story. So yeah, it's a very important. So that should be in mind. That will help us. That will help us. These 7 things you have to keep in mind. Word specific combinations offer some powerful advantages for storytellers. Brenda gave me the keys and smile. Word specific. The first of these advantages, comparison, makes us use of the written words ability to reduce big chunks of the time and information down to a few teeny words. This is especially useful when you are writing a short and or fixed length comic, and you want to jump ahead quickly to the heart of your story. 5 years later, that $10 bill and become 30 million. Okay. No matter how big the event, words can pack it down for you. You just need to decide how much you want your readers to see for themselves, and how much you want them to imagine. Another advantage of words specific combos is the way they free up the pictures by pulling the whole weight of the story using words alone. Think about it. If everything your readers need to know is in the words, you can put pretty much anything you want in the panels art wise. Well, okay, not anything maybe, but you do have a lot of attitude latitude. For example, suppose you had a complete text reading something like this: Bob was a happy baby. At 18 he went to war. At 36 he bought a house. He died at 72. With everything spelled out in the text like that, your art can go in a lot of different directions. You could illustrate the events in a fairly straightforward way. Bob was a happy baby. At 18 he went to war. At 36 he bought a house. He died at 72. So that is something interesting. Like we are discussing about what exactly the meaning of word specific. So something that is happening in your comic book, sudden, and what is written here. With everything spelled out in the text like that, your art can go in a different lot of different directions. So if you have a simple story, Bob was a happy baby. At 18 he went to war. At 36 he bought a house. He died at 72. You could illustrate the events in a fairly straightforward way. So as you can see here, you could draw the whole thing using just hands. Bob was a happy baby. At 80 he went to war. He went to a war. At 36 he bought a house. He died at 72. Okay, wow, it's a very beautiful how beautifully he illustrated these two panels. In both the panels, as you can see here, you can know, you can understand the what is happening, what is actually exactly happening in this comic panel. So you could draw the whole thing using just hands, or you could illustrate every events in a fairly straightforward way. Hmm. So what is in a best way? I think both are good enough. uh, it depends, I think, upon you, what you want. You could show a narrator speaking directly to the readers. Bob was a happy baby. At 18 he went to war. At 36 he bought a house. He died at 72. I think it's a very easy, not very easy, but it's a very complicated. The first one is very complicated, and the second is a little bit in easy, and the third one quite easy. The fourth is very easy. I think you could even illustrate it entirely with the symbols. Bob was a happy baby. At 18 he went to war. Yeah, the illustration is okay. At 36 he bought a house. He died at 72, and that is very easy. Oh, it is very interesting. So most word specific combos occur alongside other sorts of comics. So if you want to sort comic books, so we can use the word power, word picture specific. The first one we can use. Most cartoons let the pictures tell the story just as often as words. But there are largely word specific comics that makes use of that artistic license on a regular basis. In fact, you are reading one now. Picture specific comic combinations similarly give license to the words, and they offer other benefits. Picture specific, among them a closer link to the whole idea of sequential visual storytelling, which the art of comics is based on. Because of the pictorial nature of comics, picture specific sequences can function without any words at all for as long as necessary. Unlike word specific sequences which can't go pictureless for more than a panel or two without simply becoming prose. Wordless panels can provoke a sense of direct experience and immediacy, which is something best left alone. But there are compelling reasons to consider adding text, such as if you wanted to evoke the sounds of a familiar landscape. Marco, time for dinner. Hey, my bike. Or give us a window into a character inner life and sensations. 60 years to the day, and what do I have to show for it? Hey, do I smell fresh baked cookies? When both words and pictures are telling the same story, you have got a due specific combo. So, the third one we are going to learn about the due specific. Here is one now. I am standing in a panel. There is a watermelon on my head. Now it is gone, Scott said sadly. Well, obviously, I'm not a fan of combinations that are just pointlessly redundant like that. Fortunately, modern comics writes avoid redundancy most of the time. Info comics, for example, use redundancy to the ensure maximum clarity. Walk, don't run to the nearest exit. Duo-specific combinations can also be used to evoke a children's book tone or to lend an air of antique storytelling traditions. Interest Intersecting combinations can be a bit harder to pick out than our last three, but there are useful and pretty common. How how do I like my new threads page. There are panels in which the words and pictures cover some of the same ground, but each adds significant details of perspective to the scene. Okay, that is we are seeing here. Intersecting. Important info about the character's attitude and his target audience. Important info about the character's physical appearance and fashion choice. So in when we are when we want to convey about the character, and just by using only words and also the pictures, not by the perspective drawing what is behind them and what is around what is around his or her. So that is what intersecting. Just we want to we are giving the important info about the character's attitude and his target audience. Left to the instincts, many cartoonists will use a lot of intersecting combinations, creating pages which readers could partially make sense of without the words and partially make sense of without the art. Okay, so uh, you can think about it. So again I'm going to read. Left to their instincts, many cartoonists will use a lot of intersecting combinations, creating pages which readers could partially make sense of without the words and partially make sense without the art. Okay, as you can see in these two panels, in behind this persons there is there is not much about the background what is in their background, but the character and the words bubble is there, like this one and this one. So beautiful. Interdependent combinations are not as common, but when done well they can achieve memorable effects, as you can see here. Here the result of words and pictures in combination is utterly unlike what either could achieve alone. Without the art we would take her words at face value, so I'm happy for you. Without the words we would not know she was lying. In the comics adaptations of Paul Astor's City of Glass storytelling, Kersix and Mazzucchelli use such a combination to symbolically show the inner turmoil of a man whose wife and child had died. In panel 2, only the words tell us the source of Queen's emotional wound, and the art portrays the moment of anything more than a polite conversation. Interdependent combinations keep readers' minds fully engaged because they require them to assemble meanings out of such different parts. Such effects can be stimulating, gratifying, and a kind of experience really found outside of comics. In a parallel combinations, words and pictures don't connect at all. Yeah. Through their paths may bend towards each other in a later panel. Such combinations can have both practical and aesthetic applications. Ted, are you listening to me? Oh. Dialogue from one scene can run throughout another to save your room and create a dense, layered texture, or it can be used to soften a transitions from one scene to another. Parallel combination can also be put to more experimental uses, such as in a part Spiegelman's 1973 page don't get around much anymore, where the contents of the captions refers primarily to the pictures that recede them, creating this disorienting sense of psychological inertia. And finally, there is the montage where the words and letters take a pictorial qualities and are combined more freely with the pictures that surround them. Now we are going to learn about the montage. The use of pure collage techniques in comics has been pretty rare over the years, but cartoonists dabble into it from the time to time. The most famous examples being Valencier, who devised many ingenious ways to incorporate logos directly into a story's opening panel. The idea that words might cross the fence into pictorial territory once in a while seems reasonable, considering how often they rub soldiers. Some modern cartoonists have tested the potential of treating common elements like captions and words balloons with a strong pictorial sensibility. And of course, the sound effect splits over into this territory often. But for the most part, montage remains a largely unexplored territory. Innovators of the picture take on note. So now we have covered the seven ideas that author said us. So it is very beautiful. Now today for this is for the today's guys. See you in the next video. Till then, bye. Thank you for bearing with me. So see you in the next video. Till then, bye.